we are back with the semifinals. I'm your host, Professor Bobo, and here at the ReGen Invitational Part 2, I am joined by NGS veteran caster Gravesville. Gravesy, what's happening?
Looking pretty good. This is an exciting matchup. Perhaps an unexpected one for some people. ReGen Black making the way through this roster, beating Run Boys, and this is Jimmy, perhaps unknown to some players, beating team name change in the last round.
Yes, and you know, bit of a shocker across the tournament, as the first top 3 seeds have all been eliminated. So here in the semifinals, we have some unexpected company. But for those of you that do follow HCCO, you know that Dan Clan, Dynaric, Dementia, J-Shifts, Mitchy D's, and the boys on This Is Jimmy are a darn good team. They've picked up a couple wins in HCCO thus far. And the hometown team, ReGen Black, who picked up their first win in HCCO this week, themselves making it to the semifinals as well.
Yeah, so I'm excited for this one. This is the semifinals, so obviously this goes to the finals. Best of 3 series. I mean, you can't ask for much more. This is going to be a really nice series.
Yes, and here in, as we move on to the semifinals, we do expand the tournament a little bit. It will be a best of 3, so taking a quick look at our notes, we do have some map bans coming through. This is Jimmy removed Cursed Hollow, and ReGen Black has removed Brax's Holdout. Thank you. And so for the first map, we are headed to Infernal Shrines, the map choice of This Is Jimmy. So ReGen Black will have the first honors here. Teams are ready. Chat, throw some hot fire out there. Let's get going. We are ready. We are headed to Infernal Shrines. So, Infernal Shrines, the uber popular map here in NGS, actually be picked up and played by 2 teams that will be new to NGS for season number 5. You can expect quite a few, specific heroes are going to be played out. We've already seen some Alexstrasza here on this map. I've personally seen a little bit of Abathur on it as well. Gravesville, some heroes that pop up to mind as we see our band starting to come through.
Well, the Hawk is out. I was going to say, Uriel has to be the answer to that, because you can't leave her up with the Hawk out. I would expect to see... Oh, they're getting quick. The Jimmy is banned out. This is Jimmy, not going to be able to play him. Does Genji make it through is, I think, the biggest question to me.
No.
Nope. He does not. Okay, okay. Well, that was really quick. Chromie's still up, right? That's a true green hero that's available.
And it has Mo to lead things off. Boy, this draft is just moving like hot fire right now. So, Blaze instantly becomes the top-tier off laner. But we do have a lot of the poke heroes left available. Again, I haven't seen any Chromie. We see Asmo. We do see the Alexstrasza, the S-tier support here on Infernal Shrines, and we also get a Sonya from This Is Jimmy.
So Sonya over the Blaze. I do feel like Sonya is probably stronger on this map. Like, this is probably one of her strongest maps in general. So maybe that's what they're going for. But how do you answer this? Well, they're going to answer it right away with the Johanna Deckard. I was wondering what their support of choice would be. Deckard probably the best one available. Johanna's going to give them additional wave clear and perhaps a bit of peel as well, because I feel like Sonya's going to try to put a lot of pressure on their backline as Blaze getting banned out. So no Blaze coming out on the left-hand side to deal with the Sonya.
Interesting draft thus far in that we see our 2 top-tier supports already taken off the board, but none of the range DPS has been picked up. These teams just sort of hiding their intent. Some heroes that come to mind, Phoenix is available, Jaina as well. Hanzo has not been grabbed up yet, but the Azmodan Alexstrasza interaction is always a little interesting.
Wow, really? Okay, maybe they knew something we didn't. That was still technically a possibility.
They didn't take Gaul though. I'm not really sure about that ban. We do see Diablo and Phoenix getting picked up by This Is Jimmy. Big Red, the Lord of Terror, is fantastic on this map. And the Phoenix pickup as well. So you will see Lightning Breath as well. Lightning Breath to start the slow chain and provide that extra bit of damage on Purification Salvo, which does struggle if it does not have adequate setup in the slow department. A Malthael pickup.
And a Hanzo. I like the Malthael pickup, recognizing Blaze being gone, who's going to do well against Sonya. Malthael should be able to hold his own pretty well. Hanzo picked up. Vision is going to be pretty key here, and that poke damage he's going to be able to provide. I'm assuming it's going to be W build, not the Redemption build that we saw earlier.
Yes. Again, you can go with Hanzo in any number of directions. He did get that, sort of 20% auto attack buff, so maybe some some guys, you know, playing a little bit on that, and a wild Medivh has appeared.
Okay, now that's interesting. I kind of like it. It's actually going to help them a lot against that potential burst damage. That means Last Rites isn't going to get as much value if you can protect it. If they can get the Master's Touch going, I believe Medivh's actually be a pretty strong pickup on the side of This Is Jimmy.
It's a fantastic way to prevent Malthael's Last Rites from starting, you know, to get chains. And, I mean, in addition, you have Alexstrasza, who I guess we assume it will be Lifebinder. We don't know for sure, but that is a lot of burst prevention. The one thing that we're going to have to watch to see if This Is Jimmy is successful with it is whether or not they overlap Force of Will with Lifebinder and therefore maybe lose those two cooldowns, you know, in an excessive manner. But, you know, there's a number of targets on either side, like Medivh, you know, should be safe from any of that sort of burst damage on his own just by being able to, you know, proc Force of Will on himself. But Phoenix, naturally, with the shields, is always pretty good at avoiding those types of plays as well. So, Gravesy, what do you think? Favor?
I'm pretty hyped. I mean, for me in drafts, I like Medivh, and I'm excited to see how it plays out.
Right on. Well, we are going to see where this one winds up going. We'll start over on the side of the hometown team for ReGen Black. Gaspy on that Deckard Cain. Love Not War is going to be playing the Azmodan. Penguin FTW on the Hanzo. Gofty will be playing Johanna. And Buns on the Malthael.
And on the right-hand side, it is our men in red. This is Jimmy. Dan Clan playing Alexstrasza. Dementia on Phoenix. Tiny Rick on Medivh. Mitchie D on Diablo. And J Shifts on the Sonya.
Fairly standard stuff as we take a peek at our talents. That is... Ooh, is that Gluttony Azmodan that I see there?
Yeah, Asmo gonna go picking up that Wrath at level 1. Actually, gonna be stacking against heroes, which I guess against the front line of Diablo Sonya is gonna get a little bit better because then you don't get as much value on Medivh. Like you have to time it better, I guess. But you can see the Condemn coming in does get stacks already. That's 10 stacks on that Wrath right off the gate, which is going to be a good help early on. And that's actually one of the reasons I was actually expecting This Is Jimmy to not stack middle, because they don't want to give globes to the Azmodan.
And a good bit of damage there prevented by the Force of Will as Diablo winds up retreating out. Pressure here from Gofty. We see the slow coming out on the Haradric cube there from Deckard Cain. The team's just trading. I mean, there's a lot of damage and a lot of cooldowns going out. It's like Gaspy.
Looks like we might have a disconnect. Maybe. Yeah, hopefully he comes back here. We'll have to wait to see if they need a pause. But for now, we do have that Malthael up at the top against the Sonya as we expected. I really like that Malthael pick, as I mentioned before. I think that's going to be pretty key to them winning that top lane and later on being able to take control of the Shrine because he just eats through front lines.
And you know, the one thing that Malthael is always capable of doing is putting pressure on your decision making. You know, do you make the saving play as a support or even as a Medivh while you know Last Rites is still available? Again, it just forces difficult decision making, and we'll see if ReGen Black can make it work. This is a Malthael Sonya matchup, which I mean was popular a couple of months ago, and we haven't seen. But now with the triple ban phase, you're going to see a lot more of these types of picks being made.
Master's Touch, by the way, already halfway done. Really good job so far from Tiny Rick, getting that stacked up. 22 stacks so far. And I mean, as they're grouping us forward, it's going to be a lot easier for him to get that stacked. And obviously as well for Azmodan with the Globe Quest. So, you know, it's who stacks better, the Azmodan or the Medivh?
And, we need one more shot from Hanzo. Not quite. Tiny Rick escapes with the smallest sliver of life. And now Gaspy is under pressure here. Mitchie D's posturing up top, but Phoenix actually winds up going down the first Asmo dunk kill. And first blood over to ReGen Black.
Yeah, they tried to get onto Gaspy on Deckard. Unfortunately, Medivh just kind of wasn't able to save the Phoenix there as he stepped forward, got CC'd down. However, This Is Jimmy is going to take control of this camp for now. ReGen Black is going to go back and tap. Will they get back here in time? It looks like they will. And I think This Is Jimmy needs to back away.
This is a 3v4. Gofty low on mana, but has the support from Deckard Cain. Mitchie D's is in trouble, uses the portal, and he gets on out. 30 stacks for Master's Touch. Is a fast Medivh. Tiny Rick has really been using the Force of Will to just sort of prevent damage onto himself, especially from the dunks. And Dementia and J Shifts make it up there first. The ReGen Black will take a little while, but This is Jimmy is going to have to clear up bottom camp if they want to avoid the Khazra pushing on that lane.
So Tiny Rick on Medivh picking up the Raven Familiar level 4. That's going to be a lot of back and forth between the portals to get maximum value out of it. And we're going to have to see if ReGen Black can actually force them like to not go through the portals. Like they have stuns available. They have the dunks available. Like when someone pops out of a portal, they are in control of the shrine for now. Gofty coming in, trying to harass the backline. You can see the portal is there. Alexstrasza pops the Dragon Queen as well. Love Not War taking heavy pressure. Medivh's Master's Touch is not quite there. He's at 39 stacks. Only needs the one. Gets it finally. Penguin for the win, and Hanzo will be the first to fall here. And they're going to get another kill on a Johanna. 2 kills going over to This Is Jimmy as they take control of the shrine.
Looked like a bit of an early Dragon Queen, but it does work out for This Is Jimmy as Johanna and Hanzo just could not make it back across. Just interesting to see that as soon as This Is Jimmy throws that portal out, everybody takes it. They're all in.
Yep.
And on the side of ReGen Black, there's a little bit of a worry in that they don't have a lot of displace to move people or threaten people on the other side of portals, where traditionally if the Medivh, you know, if we're looking back at older drafts, you would see something like a Junkrat or a Stukov, you know, something to knock players once they go through that portal away from the entrance. And really, it's just Johanna.
Right.
There's another portal.
Well, they're going to portal in, and they're going to get the Malfield. Buns, will he survive this? He's going to get body blocked. Medivh is going to be able to get him, I believe. Yeah, one last key will be enough. Tiny Rick gets healed up thanks to Dan Clan, and this Punisher is still active.
Portal.
Front wall is going down here. They have another portal. Raven's Familiar doing good. Oh, nice stun up against the wall. Penguin for the win. Gets the leap over the wall, and I believe Hanzo escapes, but I don't know how much longer they can stick around here.
ReGen Black's going to have to give this up. Tiny Rick is nearly dead. And now DanClan in trouble. So this gets turned around on a misplay. So not only does, not only do This Is Jimmy give up 2 kills, they fail to take either the well or the fort. Despite their strong, aggressive plays, I mean, we thought for sure that they were just going to run over ReGen Black there, pick up the fort, and maybe get a little bit of wall damage. And in the end, the resilience on the part of ReGen Black sees them through. This is even XP.
Yeah, I mean, the top fort staying alive is pretty key, actually. And the well actually survives, funnily enough. So next objective will be in the middle, though, and neither team really has an advantage there. We'll have to see what they can do in these next few moments, as Love Not War is sitting at 117 stacks on that Wrath. He's basically already halfway done with that. Hold on, aggressive invade here. Penguin for the win has to go over the wall, but he's very low, and it looks like Gofty wants this. He wants this camp. I don't know if they're going to be willing to give this up.
Buns on the side. Tiny Rick is just going to try to prevent as much damage as humanly possible here, but Malfio is going to make that quite difficult. Buns is at full health. Diablo is well far forward, takes the portal out. Looks like everybody gets away scot-free.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, that was an aggressive invade, but I kind of liked it.
But there's so much,
Medivh,
so many shields and different ways to prevent damage. You've got Deckard Cain with shield pots. You have Medivh and Alex, once you get stacked, certainly, you know, with the ability to grant an extra regen globe on abundance. So it's difficult to keep up with because there's just so many different ways that these heroes are going to wind up getting that extra regen. Diablo 2 as he builds through the Fire Stomp build at 4 and 7. It's tough to kill these heroes, and you know, despite the 6 kills that we've seen already, it almost feels like we could have seen a bloodbath here pre-10.
Yeah, and you can kind of see what they're trying to do. Gofty coming in with the Condemn, and they want the Deckard root on top of it, and then Globe. Like, that's been the plan all along, and that's how they've been getting the Asmodan stacked up. So watch for that later on. Hold on. He's going in pretty deep. Mitch D gets away. But level 10s are achieved now for both of the teams. We don't have the Lifebinder. Instead, Alexstrasza going for that Cleansing Flame.
I'm trying to avoid a little bit of that overlap, but we talked about with Lifebinder and Force of Will. The Cleansing Flame does offer a little bit more dive support. And, you know, you want to get your Sonya on the back line. You want to put pressure on Asmodan, Hanzo, as well as Deckard Cain. And if it is really just Medivh trying to jump through portals, if it's just Sonya on the back line, they may be lacking some of that support, and maybe that's why we see Cleansing Flame come through.
Yeah, another ultimate of choice. It is going to be the Tormented Souls coming up from Malfio. So recognizing that Last Rites can get canceled pretty easily by Medivh. So instead, just walking in the back line, doing all of the damage on everyone seems like the better choice here.
So adaptations have been made. Both teams will pick up their Shaman camps for the top lane, but it is a middle Punisher. And Dan Clan on that Alex Ross is the one to watch. We'll see when the dragon comes through. Cleansing Flame's going to come out first.
Yeah. And Bun's under heavy pressure. You can see the combination there for Diablo and Phoenix. That will be the first kill in the Malthael. The Stay Wild Listen does land, but they wake him up immediately. Dementia is going to go in. The arrow does land, but Asmodan will fall. Gaspy getting body blocked to death. That is going to be Decker going down as well. 3 kills, maybe 4 as the Polymorph comes out as well. Okay, we got the Iron Skin won't be enough. Johanna goes down. That is 4 kills going over to This Is Jimmy.
And a suplex by Mitchy Dangles winds up securing that last kill. So a 4 spot on the board for This Is Jimmy. They do have a little bit of an advantage at top. We see Bitch D putting a little bit more pressure on Penguin, who skates away on that Hanzo.
Yeah, I like this call here from This Is Jimmy as well, recognizing that they can actually spread out, get additional XP. They don't need to take the shrine right away. They can wait for their opponents to respawn even, because they want to get themselves level 13 and potentially even more pressure on the map.
And one key in that team fight was that the absolute last barrage for Purification Salvo confirmed the kill on Malthael. Buns is under pressure here. Goes ahead and he'll use Ray Strike to get on the other side of Tiny Rick. And again, just barely escapes. The aggression from This Is Jimmy has just been fantastic there. Again, it's carried them through the fights. We did see, like, Cleansing Flame went out before Dragon Queen, really just to help secure a number of kills and provide This Is Jimmy with this Punisher.
Asmodan has Wrath stacked up here. You can see that they use the combination of Diablo once again. But now the Qs from Asmodan are going to start hurting a little bit more. You can see he put some harass on the back line. But this Frozen Punisher is at 39%. The fort goes down. Malthael's cleaning up top lane. Are they willing to get aggressive behind the wall? You can see the portal's there. They're going to dive in with the Punisher. Johanna is there, has the Iron Skin. Stay Wild Listen lands on 2. Dan Clan is going to go ahead and pop that Cleansing Fan and keep the team alive. Buns in the back line, getting a lot of damage in.
He had 4 people underneath that Tormented Souls. Goki is now in a bit of trouble here. We'll see if Dan Clan can get his teammates out of there. Abundance is down, as is the portal.
Wow.
And Medivh cheats.
Yeah, really great portal play from Tiny Rick. Look at this dunk, though. That's some pretty heavy damage. They're going to try to continue to give chase here. Tiny Rick finally falls. Nice job there, Penguin, for the win, getting the kill there.
One more auto attack from Hanzo is all it took as Medivh goes down. 7 kills to 4, and despite having the talent tier disadvantage, ReGen Black will go ahead and move in for the aggressive play on the Khazra camp here in mid. I
noted before, but by the way, Enduring Will from Medivh, not going for the AoE Arcane Explosion, instead getting the cooldown reduction on it, which is interesting considering, you know, Asmodan's going to be dunking multiple people. Maybe they just want to get Force of Will up as often as possible. You
know, Medivh is just one of those heroes where he's such a pick that is just based on the player skill. But there's really, you know, sometimes there just isn't a meta. And when you come into games like this where you see different talent picks being picked up, especially, you know, we talked about Tormented Souls, for instance. We've seen Cleansing Flame. It's just, you know, those small spots where these guys feel like they can find advantages. And we'll see if anything comes into effect here as we have a camp invade down on the bottom.
Yep, you can see that the Gaspy is stuck in the middle of the team. Dementia on Phoenix was very low. Deckard will be the first one to fall here. Buns has to use that Tormented Souls. Is doing a lot of damage, but Malthael will fall. That Cleansing Flame doing some great work. That is 3 kills going over This Jimmy as they have 10 kills to 4 now total in this match.
The backline pressure from Jake Shifts on that Sonya has outweighed the contribution of the Malthael thus far. That's been a big point here, and again, that's just one of those reasons why we do see This Is Jimmy picking up a 15-13 2-level lead. They are staring at level 16. And it looks like they're aiming for this bottom fort.
Yeah, this bottom fort will fall. Thing of note is the next objective will be in the top lane, where ReGen Black do not have their fort, and This Is Jimmy does. So that could be a potential play from This Is Jimmy, is to just pressure the other lanes or even soften up key front wall. They have a lot of options available to them at this moment.
The you know, the good points here from ReGen Black have come when they've been able to resist the aggressive play and then maybe hunt down and catch an extra kill or two. They need to keep building and finding ways to resist the aggression. And even though they are down a talent tier here, they're going to certainly forfeit this top Punisher. They're certainly not out of the game by any stretch. Just hold on to your keeps. Maybe see if you can pick up an even talent tier advantage. Maybe you wind up fighting something along the lines of, say, 16 and 18. That's going to be the key and something to look forward to from them if they're going to come back in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. But as I mentioned before, Shrine is going to be in the top lane. Impalers were already picked up or excuse me, yeah, the bruiser camp at the top was picked up already on the side of this Jimmy. On their opponent's side, they're going to pick up the one on their end. That'll be something that ReGen Black is going to have to deal with, because that will push to keep wall, and it's going to keep the top lane pushed out. And I think recognizing that, ReGen Black is going to back off, try to get closer to 60.
Yeah, they're going to wind up looking for ways to pick up experience in these other two lanes. Meanwhile, Sonya can just sit up on top, and she will go ahead and certainly pick up this Mortar Punisher on her own. She's more than capable. I do think with the camp pushing, and I do think with the aggressive plays from the Medivh Diablo combo, this is likely to be a keep. And now it looks like ReGen Black trying to find themselves a kill, while Sonya is still up on top. Cleansing Flame comes out. Tormented Souls has gone through, and the Purification Salvo, didn't even need it. The kill is confirmed. Gaspy now under pressure on the Dicker Kane there. Everybody taking the portal in on through. Mitchy D's finds one kill. Asmodan goes down as well. Tiny Rick needs just one more Q to go ahead and take Ghosty out of this. Here's the portal.
Yeah, I think it's portal run through. It looks like he will fall. So despite being in a 5v4 situation, this is Jimmy. They get the kills. They have the Punisher. This is going to be top keep. This might even be game if they get kills on the backside of this even.
Johanna is gone for 30 extra seconds. You know, with the Mortar Punisher coming through, maybe his siege isn't that great. Obviously, you want the Arcane if you're setting up for the winning play here. But if they can prevent ReGen Black from picking up level 16 in any form of soak, I mean, maybe one kill does it. And Jay Shifts is already positioning. He wants to hop on this core. Sonya going at it.
Yeah, they're on the core. Punisher jumps over. Dan Clan is going to go ahead and use the Dragon Queen, laying down the big heal. The core is falling. Sonya on the core. Dragon Arrow won't be enough to help them, and this is Jimmy going to go ahead and take game number 1 in this best of 3 series.
That'll do it for game number 1, as you called it. Boy, it had to be the Medivh, right? It just seemed like it threw everything for a loop.
Yeah, I agree. As I mentioned, you know, in the draft, I felt like Medivh is impactful regardless, and I feel like this is Jimmy. They played it really well. Tiny Rick, he got the stacks in early on his Q. You can see that they were very consistent in using the portals. I feel like they just played the Medivh game very well.
You know, Medivh fell off in the meta in that sort of, in the interregnum, you know, the end of Season 4. We haven't seen too much of Medivh in, you know, HCCO. We haven't seen it at HGC. He was a hero that was almost banned at certain levels just across the board in every single game for NGS Season 4. I mean, Graves, I'm not, you know, making that up, right? I mean, there were teams that just reflexively banned Medivh every game.
Yeah, I mean, he's been in the meta a while. He kind of fell off after they made a bunch of changes. I mean, nerfs really, but he's still always been impactful. He's been the high skill cap hero that if you know how to play him well, he just completely changes the game around.
Absolutely. And, you know, triple ban phase, again, you know, a couple months ago, you would have figured Medivh would have never made it through any draft. But that's, I think I did see one Medivh ban earlier in the day, but he makes it through. He makes it onto a map in Infernal Shrines, which Medivh is just objectively fantastic. I honestly think that's got to be his best map. You know, that, maybe something like Tomb you would look for a Medivh. A Tiny Rick making plays. And this is Jimmy claims game number 1 on Infernal Shrines.
And it looks like game number 2, we're going to be headed to Volskaya as ReGen Black. They will be taking map pick, and they want to go to one of our newer maps on Volskaya. So, you know, with that last game in mind, I'm interested to see why they chose this map. You know, is there something about the last game that they're thinking, Volskaya is our map, we've practiced it a lot, we know how this map plays out compared to Infernal Shrines?
I think Volskaya is the new hot. Like, it's a map that everybody kind of shunned initially. Remember, it was considered to be a map that either at different times, you know, with different changes to Volskaya, it was a map that you would either play for 20s or you would snowball it early. And I think it's in a great position now. I think everybody has learned how to play around not just the objective, but around the capturable items, around the fortification camps, around the support camps as well. And I think it's been the most popular map at the competitive level.
Yeah, I mean, I see that too, and it's interesting because it's more of a different map, right? Compared to your standard like a Cursed Hollow or something like that. You know, it has different mechanics in regard to those camps. But I think once people got used to that idea of the timings of when to do these camps and which objectives you can give up and which ones you can't. Fun fact, don't give up any of them. I think it kind of clicked, and like you said, it's seen play in HGC Open. It's seen play in HGC. I feel like this is a popular map that people kind of clicked finally.
Yes, and the other part of Volskaya is that it seems to play very well into the current hero meta that we see. So Alex Straza being a high tier support, it's a fantastic map for Alex. It's a great map for these sustained tanks. So Diablo, Johanna, and Muradin, they're the kind of tanks that can sit on a point, resist damage, back off, heal either through their traits, their talents, their abilities and whatnot, without having to necessarily rely on a well or a support. We've seen a lot of Malfurion, Deckard Cain. These are sort of longer team fight sustained heroes, and they do very, very well. And Volskaya is a map that does play to, like I said, what we feel like the tier list is playing out right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. So with the first win going over to This Is Jimmy, ReGen Black, again, this is their map pick. What kind of adjustments do you think we would expect from them? I mean, I would not expect another Medivh game, but we can see that This Is Jimmy knows how the aggressive playstyle works. Whereas ReGen Black, they went for more of a passive play with that Asmodan. Maybe this time around, ReGen Black says, you know what? We can't play passive. We also need to be the active ones. We can't just let them run at us. We have to do something about that. Maybe, get a little more appeal for our backline. Maybe be the aggressors ourselves. Agree.
I'm trying to think of what happened there. The bans on the offlaners at the top of the draft seem to kind of throw teams off. I'm not sure anybody really knows, beyond Dahaka, Yrel, Blaze, where to go. Because after that, I mean, those heroes are just objectively great right now. While they do have their individual weaknesses, their weaknesses are not as glaring as the likes of Malthael or perhaps, Leoric. So, again, being forced to move down. We saw the early Sonya pick. That worked out great. But the Malthael, countered by the Medivh, also, again, just struggled to provide the kind of backline damage that I do think ReGen Black was looking for in that game.
Yeah, I really liked the Sonya pick and then banning the Blaze. And like you said, they just didn't respond to it. So maybe on this map, they go with something differently. Dahaka, leave one of those open. Even if your opponents get the better one, at least you'll also have a better one.
I mean, the Dahaka ban early sort of signaled, okay, we're gonna, maybe we're playing for Yrel or Blaze, and then just the bans kept ripping. We saw Yrel get taken away there. So teams are in lobby right now, and again, this was the map pick of ReGen Black, if I'm correct. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So Volskaya Foundry is where we are headed, and This Is Jimmy is going to go ahead and take the first pick here.
Now, what's interesting that it didn't point out before, though, that this map and the last one, both teams already played on them today.
Yes.
So I'm wondering if either of the teams had the opportunity to watch their opponents' games to know kind of what was happening, what kind of picks they were picking. Because Infernal, everyone had to play that the first round, and Volskaya, everyone had to play that the second round. So there is technically tape available for both of these teams already. And I wonder if they make any adjustments about that, because I know from watching and listening to some of the other players that they were watching their opponents' games while they were waiting for theirs.
Yes, and as we get further and further into this tournament, hopefully we'll see some more maps wind up being shown up. If you're just joining us here at the ReGen Invitational Part, the first round of games were played on Infernal Shrines, and the second round was played on Volskaya Foundry. Third round on Tomb. If we do get to map number 3, we'll see if that winds up being the choice. All right.
Yeah. So here's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for ReGen winning, and then we'll go to Tomb. Then we just get all 3 maps.
Just a repeat. We just keep ripping it. Nobody wants to go anywhere weird anymore. We are playing on the, just FYI, we're playing on the HCC map pool, so no Alterac. But again, everything else, the other 9 maps are consistent with competitive play, and they are available for the teams here. All right, everybody is ready. Let's go ahead. Let's proc our draft. We are headed to game number 2 on Volskaya Foundry in the ReGen Invitational Part 2. We are here in the semifinals. We've got ReGen Black going up against This Is Jimmy. This is Jimmy looking to close this series out, and they will have first ban and first pick here.
So I don't expect a Dahaka ban from them.
He's not great. He's not great on this map. But no, he's an okay, again, we talked about, you wanted to see them leave a fallback option and not get stuck, moving down the meta.
Right. Interestingly enough, I think Asmodan would be really good in this situation. It's another one of those maps where you have to fight around a central point, and he get stacks around them. So I don't know if either the teams are willing to look at him. But we do have the Aurel and the Respect Medivh ban coming up from Jen.
Gofty called it in chat, but nope, you just got to give it up there.
Yeah.
The Medivh was played exceptionally well by Tiny Rick. And Aurel gone as well. Remember, these teams left a lot of range DPS, with the exception of Messer Raynor. They let all of the tanks through, all of the supports through. We expect Alexstrasza and Deckard King to be at the top of the priority for these teams. Chromie, who does get a little bit more value here on Volskaya, is removed.
Yeah, time trap build is nothing you want to deal with here. There's a lot of meta picks open. I don't know if they're willing to ban Raynor, because he is an option for either of the teams. Otherwise, the Genji, Garrosh, I mean, there's a lot out there right now. I don't know. I don't know if they're afraid of the Jimmy or not.
I haven't seen a Genji get through the first ban phase.
Yeah.
Hey!
Oh, wow.
Good. Wanted to jinx it. So, Bama the Hammer Kowalski is removed. And this is a great hammer. And, okay, yep. That's what happens, folks. You let him through, he's off the board.
Yeah, I would say of the two, I'd rather have the Genji, because Genji kills Raynor. So...
Genji kills everything.
Yeah, right?
Interesting, though, there were a couple of changes here. What was it? I think Swift Strike... I think the reset window was dropped by a half a second, right?
Down to, 1.5 seconds, yeah.
And I do think... What did they... They nerfed some of the damage on Swift Strike as well.
Yes, they did. It still goes over walls. Cough, cough.
Overwatch things.
Yeah, right?
So Raynor...
So Raynor, Murden, yeah. And the Johanna answer to Raynor. I mean, we've seen this before. I don't know if it's enough of an answer, but blinds are good, right?
They're great, but what is the pressure that This Is Jimmy is going to pick up later in the draft here to get onto the Raynor? Obviously, the blinds are not quite enough. Raynor does pretty well into Genji himself with the activatable heal now.
Yes, that is true.
But again, we see a bulky front line, and this is a front line that served This Is Jimmy very well in their previous round. They used it to great effect against team named Change on Tomb of the Spider Queen. It's an immovable wall.
And they have Genji this time around.
I mean, Johanna Blaze, it's a massive amount of hit points. It's Bunker, it's Iron Skin, it's what you assume will be Laws of Hope at level 1. It takes a heck of a lot of damage to put enough pressure on either of those two, and they're just so resistant to CC chains. So the pressure will be on Gofty on that Muradin to find targets.
Again, it could have happened, but it can no longer do that. I mean, maybe because they showed the Kerosene ban, 7-sided. Because I don't think Kerosene was necessarily the ban, other than baiting out a Cho'Gall ban.
And credit to This Is Jimmy for going with the higher tier Gall ban. Everybody knows that that's the right move to be made. It's just odd to see Cho'Gall given Papa Bless no more unstoppable on Surging Dash. There is Malfurion, and there is Asmodan yet again.
I feel like their ReGen Black is falling in the same trap. Like, they know their opponents are good at that hard engage, and then they go Asmodan again, and Raynor, who can't really step into the team without some support. So Alexstrasza picked up for This Is Jimmy. Are they going to bring some damage along with Genji? And who's it going to be?
Jaina Phoenix are still available.
Yeah.
What do we get? Jaina! Yep.
Yeah, I like the pickup, and that's what I'm afraid of. Like, they have so much burst potential on the side of This Is Jimmy, and ReGen Black, they have to poke it out and survive. And because the Aurel and Blaze was gone, they're gonna go with that Sonya as their offlaner over the Dahaka.
So we did see Jaina in the previous round for This Is Jimmy, and that was a Ring of Frost Jaina. Remember, Alex picked Cleansing Flame to provide an extra bit of dive support. But in this game, obviously not having the Medivh, maybe the equation changes. Maybe it will be Lifebinder.
Mm-hmm.
Could go either way. Hey, we're headed to game number 2. Soon to be headed to Volskaya Foundry. This is Jimmy with an opportunity to move on to the finals here at the ReGen Invitational number 2. I love the draft on the side of This Is Jimmy. I think it's the objectively stronger draft, but we saw Gofty there in chat. Wants to make this Asmodan work. Graves, you think this is the game?
I want it to be the game. But This Is Jimmy has such a strong lineup. I think if ReGen Black can do it, they have to do it on the back of Asmodan.
And it's a wide back, a large back, capable of carrying quite a bit, but we'll see if Love Not War on that fat Modan can go ahead and make some plays. And, you know, certainly getting stacked early enough is going to be a big part of the equation. So, for ReGen Black, Penguin for the win is going to be playing the James Raynor, Gofty on the Murden, Buns on the Sonya, Gaspy will be playing Malfurion, and Love Not War on that Azmodan.
And on the right-hand side, this is Jimmy, with Dan Clan on Alex Straza, Dementia playing Jaina, Tiny Rick on the Genji, Mitch D on the Johanna, and Jay Shifts on Blaze.
See if Mitchy Ding Dongs can go ahead and provide that sort of frontline control on the Johanna. But I have eyes on Dementia on that Jaina. There's a lot of responsibilities for Jaina here in that she is, you know, PvP, PvE, camp clear. She's got everything here. Tiny Rick actually immediately eats a spear. Good quick shot there from Buns. And now we trade the cooldowns. A little bit of run it down mid.
Yeah. And Wrath once again on Azmodan of note. So going for the hero shots and the auto attacks.
It's the best. It's a great talent. Azmodan auto attack build in 2018. Did you believe that you would see it? We see.
I do like.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I do like this rotation though from both the teams. Obviously, Blaze and the Sonya up against each other at the bottom, but just the fact that Jaina, I believe, has the better wave clear than anything on the outside because, you know, Azmodan, he's not fully stacked. He doesn't have as great a wave clear. They should be able to out-rotate this, I feel, especially if they can stop their opponents from rotating, like throw down a blind from Johanna on the rotation. In fact, looks like they're heading to their camps, which is the right call. But ReGen Black going to the support camp.
Very aggressive play. I like seeing this here. Mitchy D does sniff it out, but at the same time, Alex Straza, as well as Jaina, all the way down in between bot and mid, picking up the fortification camp. It is just Genji up top. So they will start trading items. The biotic emitter goes over to the side of ReGen Black. XP is even right now. Again, the one thing we're definitely keeping an eye on is make love, not war on that Azmodan. Got to get to 200 on those stacks. And here comes, this is Jimmy with the invade.
Yeah, Gofty has a nice stun here onto Dementia, trying to body block away from the heal, but won't get there in time. Tiny Rick harassing on the top side. ReGen Black haven't gone for their fortification camp yet, but they have plenty of time. I liked that early call, though, going for that support camp.
Very good call there from ReGen Black, and they'll go ahead and pick this up right now. They do have a very, you know, high effective health pool to deal with Genji, again, if they can just avoid the engage. Some pressure on Mitchy D's on that Johanna, and we'll definitely be watching out for Blaze to see if he can get those flank jet propulsions. I mean, that's the hallmark. You know, if you want to play Blaze, it's about whether or not you can hit 2 to 3 members with your jet propulsion and provide the setup for the rest of your team to go ahead and wipe up the floor behind that.
Absolutely. So objective is in the middle. Both teams going for their siege camps. We saw that the fortification camp was picked up on the side of ReGen Black. And, you know, right now it's going to come down to positioning. One of the nice things you can do on this map is stall the early progress. If both teams are contesting while it is spawning, neither team gets progress. But if you get progress and then you contest, they're still getting progress. So ideally, you want at least one member on your team to start with, but it doesn't look like ReGen Black is in position to do so.
No, and this, you know, wild contrast from the first game. No kills, and in addition, very slow stacking. Remember, we had Tiny Rick on that Medivh, who at about this time in the first game was, what, 30 stacks deep? And right now, as we just take a quick peek at our talents, Jaina has, you know, just had no opportunity to provide damage. Azmodan doing all right with 50 stacks there. Alex on the Abundance Quest at level 1 has done all right, but it may take a little bit longer than This Is Jimmy anticipated to get Dementia going on that Advanced Ice Block quest for Jaina. And, I mean, that's of note when you're going up against an Azmodan who's just looking to get a little 5 slamma jamma on the back line.
And Penguin for the win, picking up the Behemoth armor at level 4. So another stacking talent. I believe that's a good talent, especially against the Genji, because you want to be able to survive the amount of damage that they have. But we do have ReGen Black on the point. Jimmy is at the top, so there's currently a 4v4, excuse me, a 5v4 now. Gofty trying to get them off. J-Shifts does get the 1 stun. We do see Dan Clan popping that Dragon Queen, trying to get on the backside. They do have to put down that healing pulse for now, but they will push off their opponents, and it looks like This Is Jimmy is going to take control of the point.
I think that biotic emitter might have saved Gofty right there. We saw Tiny Rick dash in on the Genji. This is a little bit of a ping pong build here, trying to get that strike at the heart damage going on the Overwatch annoyance. We do see Mitchy D's here, moving in for some wave clear. Has to pop Iron Skin, as Love Not War goes ahead and starts the improved laser. Oh, and a great shot by Ghosty there on the Storm Bolt. And Tiny Rick has to Swift Strike to safety.
So, a lot of back and forth. ReGen Black now in control. We do have 78 stacks so far on Azmodan. We're going to see if he can get any more poke in here. We do have that turret put down on the side of This Is Jimmy, and they're going to try to force their opponents off for now. Love Not War trying to zone them out, but the point is currently contested by both teams. The J-Shifts got stunned out of his E, unfortunately, which means This Is Jimmy's going to take it, but they've got plenty of time to tap and come back for this.
There's no Dragon available for Alex Straza. Ghosty will go ahead and just use Second Wind and his pocket Malfurion there. Gaspy on the Malfurion trying to get everybody back up. But ReGen Black has done a great job here. And they put a lot of pressure on Tiny Rick on this Genji. He's been subject to a lot of great skill shots from both Buns and Ghosty. But Mitchy D's comes in with a big 4-man condemn. Iron Skin has been proc. Ghosty is in trouble there on the... Oh, and the Muradin, and he actually winds up avoiding it. And the final proc on the laser actually seals the kill on Genji. Buns is trying to spin to win here. There's a fortification turret just trying to help him out there. Sonya goes down, but the dunk comes through. Johanna is next. Ghosty trying to find himself a Jaina. Skates away.
Oh, wow.
But ReGen Black looks like they're going to pick up this first Triglav Protector. No dunk.
Wow. So much happened there. It was really interesting. This is Jimmy decided to go for the fortification camp, like, right when that started. Dementia and Jaina started the camp, and they're like, should we finish this? And they went in, and they dropped the turret down, but... Because Jaina was low on mana initially, I believe that was a big reason they weren't able to win that. They just didn't have the damage anymore.
And again, keep playing that exchange. Genji pops Deflect, just trying to avoid the damage from the Azmodan laser, and that very last tick of damage finishes him off. And now the Triglav Protector takes care of mid-wall. And it looks like ReGen Black might be thinking about the fort there. There's the Swift Strike on the back. Tiny Rick putting pressure on both Malfurion as well as Azmodan. They'll have to back off. Sonya and Blaze are going at it in the old wet noodle fight in bot lane. 20 seconds left on the Triglav Protector. But both teams even in XP.
Yeah, I like that call, though, from ReGen Black. Going for the mid and then staying around to get the well, at least. Normally, you head up immediately top because that's where the next objective is and get that well. But I feel like they did have enough time. In fact, they might be able to still stick around top lane and get the tower and the well. As Sonya's still in the middle, and again, Sonya and Blaze down at the bottom. No, they're going to back off as their opponents have level 10 as well.
Both teams hit 10 at the same time. On the side of ReGen Black, Ghosty goes into Haymaker, Playmaker, his personal favorite. We do see Wrath, Twilight Dream. We see Rainer's Raider as well. Both of these now fighting over. Mitchy D's comes in. Another big 4-man condemn. Blizzard has been dropped. Johanna a little low, and a huge shot by Buns, but a big... Oh, the Ring of Frost! It forces everybody into the center. It's followed up by Jade and the Blizzard, and the X-Ray comes through, and it's a triple on the side of This Is Jimmy.
What a crazy combo. Hey, you have to avoid the edge of the... Stand in the middle. Oh, by the way, X-Ray.
Oh, Bunker. Cleansing Flame, Blessed Shield picked up as well. Unfortunate set of circumstances there, but that is one of the weaknesses of Malfurion. If a Wombo is set up quite well, you know, he has Twilight Dream in this sense. It's really just, it's not going to prevent that giant Wombo burst, and ReGen Black has to give a couple of kills up. This is Jimmy pulls ahead in the kill department, 4-3. Now these teams will start working the macro. We see Dan Clan and Dimension picking up yet another fortification turret. Ghosty with an aggressive play here.
I like this call here, trying to get the rotations between the lanes. Mitchy D's already used the Iron Skin. Ghosty's going to get the Haymaker on them. Will he drop the Iron Skin? Blessed Shield is used. Tiny Rick does go in. Twilight Dream is used as well. The dunk does enough damage, but not a secure kill. Mitchy D's kind of hiding in the backside. Tiny Rick gets away as well. And Johanna is still here. I believe he has Iron Skin again. No, he doesn't. Johanna is dead.
And uses the support camp, so that might be more of a critical mistake than, you know, just the simple kill on its own. Great play by Ghosty there. Recognizing that Johanna did not have Iron Skin, can use Haymaker to put her in a difficult position. And then the follow-up was there. And ReGen Black making a little bit of a comeback here in their position to go for this top fort.
Yeah, and again, this is where the next objective is going to be. So they're going to put a lot of pressure here. There's going to be no well, no fort. Like, in fact, they're going to maybe get the stun and the Haymaker onto Tiny Rick. Oh, the root side, but no, he gets the Genji goes down. Wow.
Haymaker, playmaker, make me a wish. And it finds a Genji who swift strikes out, but the damage was just too much. Cleansing Flame was actually used there as well. And that Haymaker is just putting a ton of pressure on the decision making on the part of Dan Clan in particular. And right now this is Jimmy just scuffling a little bit. This Muradin is just going buck wild.
Yeah, I love the combo though, the Haymaker into the root. Like, you have to know where it's going to land to time that so properly. They didn't quite get it, but they were really close. Jay Shift's looking for something. Blessed Shield Code as well. Ring of Frost does land onto 2 members, but there is no fort here. Dimension is very low. The Dunk's going to secure the kill. Jaina goes down. Jay Shift's very low as well. Blaze goes down, and that is 2 more kills going over to ReGen Black.
They are turning this game around. And you know what? We just talked about how unfortunate it is when you move into the center of the Ring of Frost. They just left Muradin there. Muradin's all right with all that. And now ReGen Black has put themselves in a position to pick up a large percentage of this top objective. They are ahead now, half a level, and they are ahead in XP for the first time in this series.
Yeah, really good plays from them so far. I like what they did middle lane there. They're going to go ahead and start picking up these camps. This is Jimmy as a kind of a contestant point, maybe even give up the objective for now. I mean, that's not normally what you want to do, but this will put some pressure on the map, and this camp is going to go over to ReGen Black, but I don't think they can give this Triglav up. This goes right to keep.
Oh boy, it's an interesting decision. I mean, you're not going to take the Triglav and head all the way bot. The defense is going to be interesting in that they will have Jaina there as well, and Jaina just does so much work, and she's been so good hitting these rings. There's Blessed Shield, Cleansing Flame has come out as well, and ReGen Black is looking to disengage. Gofty goes ahead, uses the Dwarf Toss out, X-Strike comes through, the Jet Propulsion does not hit Muradin. Malfurion is there for the backup, and here comes Buns in off the flank. Michi D's is under pressure, the bunker comes out, and there's 3 members in there. Genji, Blaze, as well as Johanna. The dunks are coming through. Gofty with the Haymaker kill. Oh boy.
Wow.
Ring.
I mean, I have to.
Came out defensively, but it's not enough. ReGen Black's just on a roll here.
Yeah, I have to say, great plays there from Gofty as well. He was very low, kind of baiting out a lot of the cooldowns, backed away, ended up using the support camp to keep himself alive, and then coming back in, Haymaker securing the kill, and this, I mean, this Triglav is going to hurt. This is going to go right towards the keep as they round themselves closer to level 16.
I wasn't sure that ReGen Black was going to be able to pick this up with the Dragon Queen and with the fact that they would have to put, a lot of their siege into this keep, but even the Dragon Queen is just not going to be enough to prevent this. There's the dive in from the big robot. Gofty at the back line a little low, but he's got Malfurion there, and Genji just gets deleted. Michi D's winds up pulling everybody in the kingdom, but he needs to retreat back out. Iron Skin is popped. ReGen Black is going to go ahead and work on this keep. There's the dunk. Dan Clan avoids it. Gofty low. He's still taking shots from the turret. I don't think there's any more than a keep, but ReGen Black, a very successful objective phase.
Yeah, really good job from them. They do have that about a 1 level lead, 1.5 level lead. Still have 1 second left on this. Gofty and Muradin, I mean, I've said it before, I believe that's a lot of the reason that they're getting ahead. The Haymaker plays have been there. They have the follow-up. Really good follow-up CC, the Gatsby on Malfurion doing a good job there, and they're going to go ahead and invade their opponent's camp.
Gofty is a big fan of Haymaker. I don't believe he knows what Avatar is. And listen, when it works, it looks fantastic, and he's been on point and leading his team from the front with that Muradin. Again, it's just been fantastic play from Black. They take a 10-4 lead in terms of kills. A little bit of silver linings here is that for This Is Jimmy, they are at least close enough in XP. There's the stun coming out on Blaze. Expects a little bit of Haymaker action here. There's the bunker.
Well, bunker's going to get used. I don't think This Is Jimmy gets in time to save the Blaze. Tiny Rick's going to try to get up on the backside. Penguin for the win survives for now, but Jay Shift is out. Ring of Frost will land onto, hold on. Muradin gets away. Gofty survives again. Bun's trying to spin to win, but they don't secure kill. Genji and Blaze both get away, and I can't believe This Is Jimmy actually survived that.
Hold on a minute here. We got some dunks. Oh, that Stormbolt just missed. Jaina actually uses Ice Block there defensively. Might have been able to find a counter kill there. It's not. Everybody but Malfurion seemed like they pressed the R buttons in that exchange. And now another attempt here. Dimension is leading from the front here. Jaina's got to be careful. And the camp is actually picked up. Penguin FTW in trouble here. Genji finally finds himself a Rainer. Is he going to go down? Blizzard confirms that kill, but Gofty's there. A Haymaker knocking Johanna away. I think ReGen Black was just going to be satisfied there with the disengage. Top lane just pushing hard. They have opened up a win condition in top. Mid, that wall is going to go down with a little bit of a breath there from a Triglav Protector. And here's an aggressive move. I don't know if ReGen Black's got enough to take this support camp.
It's a 4v4 when Blaze gets here. Ghosty is very low already, though. They're going to use the Dragon Queen for this. That's a 120-second cooldown, so I'd say that's a win for ReGen Black.
I agree. I mean, they will have to give up the support camp, but, you know, Dragon Queen's a pretty darn long cooldown. There's the Blessed Shield. The Jet Propulsion does not follow up on Buns. ReGen Black has an opportunity here to make some plays. Blaze actually avoids the Haymaker with the bunker. Ring of Frost comes out and only roots Malfurion. Buns is looking to spin to win on the backside. Ghosty goes down first. Dragon Queen has expired. Remember, Jimmy was not available for this fight. Tiny Rick is going to go ahead and try to find himself another kill. X-Strike does not hit anyone. ReGen Black will have to give up mid-fort, but only at the cost of 1 kill. But this is Jimmy. Seems like they're getting a little angry.
Yeah, I think they realize, hey, team, we can't be playing the way we've been playing. It's 10 kills to 6 in favor of ReGen Black, and now this is Jimmy. This is their opportunity to get back in this. It is going to be the bottom lane. There's a fort still there for both of the teams. Murden will be back up in 25 seconds, which is plenty of time to defend this.
This is going to wind up being a lot of pressure. There's 3 catapults pushing top lane. Okay.
With the camp.
We finally see Blaze just... I mean, he has to defend it. There's absolutely no choice there. These teams are just about even... it's about a half-level lead for ReGen Black. Expect once Blaze shows top, because you can't let that sit there, that ReGen Black will make their move onto the point.
Yeah, and... this is Jimmy going for their own turret camp. Yeah, ReGen Black should have been a little quicker, but they are here now finally. Mitchie D's will get away just fine. Blaze still clean out the camp at the top. Catapults are already cleaned up there. But I'm surprised ReGen Black not willing to get more aggressive. Well, granted, they don't have Murden here quite yet.
But Murden will beat Blaze by a country mile. Buns is sitting on the corner of the point. I mean, he's been great on this Sonya, actually. His sustain has been incredible. Ghosty is trying to find a target.
Jaina?
Oh, he just missed Jaina on the Storm Bolt. Cleansing Flame comes out, trying to prevent some of that damage. But it looked like, yes, Twilight Dream got used there. There's a 2-man ring, but it's only in the frontliners as Murden and Sonya will retreat back. Blaze is coming down. Whole bunch of R buttons got pressed.
Yeah, and great Nature's Cure, by the way, on Malfurion. That was Gatsby. Really good job. Murden was very heavily under pressure. Hold on, Buns might not be out of this quite yet.
Oh.
Actually, they're going to use the Pacify from Alexstrasza. Buns gets away with 150 HP. You can see the bunker going out already, and it looks like ReGen Black should be able to back away, tap, and then maybe come back in this fight, as this is Jimmy. I don't know. They just used a lot of buttons there. Will they be able to hold on to this point for much longer?
Well, we're not sure.
They have 1 catapult.
I mean, it's also possible that, listen, if ReGen Black moves up here, they have the faster path to level 20. A big moment in there.
Yep.
Mitchie D's had the Condemn coming out, and it had an opportunity to lock Sonya down, but the conveyor belt really allowed Buns to get away with 150 hit points there. Blaze is under pressure. He does not have bunker. Ghosty's going to go ahead, and there is the Haymaker. Oh, boy. This is Jimmy's going to have to surrender yet another objective as Blaze goes down. 1 catapult on core, another one's coming down the lane, but it's going to be yet another Triglav Protector going the way of ReGen Black.
Yeah, I think this is Jimmy realizes that if they give this up, this could go to core. Ring of Frost goes out, lands onto 2 members. Dan Clan pushing them into it. In fact, Tiny Rick has to use the X-Strike to get out, but he's already low. Will Swift Striker wait? Tiny Rick gets away. Buns, will he survive?
Oh, the dunk!
Oh, the dunk!
Oh, well, you love to see it, actually. And Genji gets erased. Oh, I mean, hey, when the Overwatch ninja winds up going down to a big, giant, slow skill shot with a massive circle on the ground, everybody smiles a little bit. So Genji is erased off the map. ReGen Black, are they playing for game here?
I think they will. I think ReGen Black, they take this Triglav, they go either middle or top. Like, they could go middle, get the keep, and then if they get kills off of it, go for core. Or they just go right for core and say, you know, to hell with it. We've got level 20. Yeah, they will too, but why not just win?
So inside the Triglav is just Sonya. They pick up a support camp, and that lends itself to the theory that maybe ReGen Black just wants to take all of these items, run it down mid, get on the core, and see if they can finish this game off. Genji will be back. Everybody is going to have their R buttons. It'll all be on cooldown there. It'll be critical to see how the Dragon is played out by Dan Clan on the Alexstrasza here. And, hey, we talked about it. ReGen Black, they're going for the win.
Ghosty, by the way, Grand Slam. I like that. You know he likes the Haymaker. Grand Slam. Also, Asmodee, go for Pride at level 20. Has the 400 stacks. His Qs are going to hurt.
Ghosty is trying to find Blaze, and the Haymaker winds up confirming the curse kill. So Gatsby's under pressure here. He actually winds up picking up a shield, using the silence, and Genji goes down. So we're trading kills in here. Malfurion is gone, but Genji and Blaze are as well. Alexstrasza on the back goes down to Ghosty. Mitchie D's is next. And that Triglove is just going to hammer away at the core. ReGen Black evens out the series. We're headed to game number 3.
I got my wish.
Damn straight. Hey, it's a tournament. We're having a little bit of fun. Why don't we? I mean, this is the last set for us. We want to get more action in there, and ReGen Black obliges with a victory on Volskaya Foundry. I mean, they talked about they want to make the Asmodean work. I think it worked there.
Yeah, I think it worked really well. They weren't able to get as much pressure on the back line there. Gaspian Malfurion, I feel like, played a really good game to keep the team alive as well.
I loved what we saw from Buns. You know, in the first game, we talked about how much of a problem it was to get backline pressure, that Malthael just wasn't getting the job done. But in a lot of those fights, Buns actually seemed like he had, well, actually did have more sustain than Muradin, because Gofty was going for the old Haymaker play. But again, Haymaker also just very clearly threw This Is Jimmy off of their game. And Asmodean, hey, leading the game in Siege, leading the game in hero damage, leading it in XP. Shout out to Love, Not War. Oh, Fat Medan. Sometimes it's feast or famine, and that was a feast.
Yeah, really good feast from them. I mean, just overall, I feel like they played more aggressively. Even with the Asmodean, they're like, well, what if we dunk them and then just right-click them, and then Sonya spins, and then all these things just came together for an amazing match for them. I really liked how they turned that around. Like, this didn't feel like the same matchup as the first game.
No, the offlaner certainly had something to do with it. The Haymaker certainly had something to do with it, but and something that seemed a little odd. It almost seemed like Genji just not very effective right here.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, maybe they needed an Asmodean or not.
Okay, so Behemoth Armor with Raynor, if you're not aware of how it works, it actually winds up providing him with an instant 250 HP, and then we'll just stack. And later into the game, Raynor's just going to get a larger and larger health pool. And Jaina, trying to find her way through the front line, found it difficult. She gets outranged by Raynor, she gets outranged by Asmodean, and she's going to be under pressure from that front line. So the stronger meta comp really succumbs to the range that ReGen Black's heroes had. All right, what's the scoop for game 3? Do we have our map yet?
Well,
I'm trying to figure this out.
Let's see. Yep, This Is Jimmy has decided to go for first pick, so we're waiting on ReGen Black to choose the map right now. So they're going to be prioritizing first pick, which is in and of itself pretty interesting, because we saw them go for the Genji early, and maybe they're going to try to make something like that work again.
It's also interesting to see that, again, Yrel has played no part in either of these drafts. Tank picks, Johanna Muradin. We're keeping everything pretty simple up at the front. We have not seen anybody really dipping deep into any of their, the hero pools, again, with the exception of that off lane. So we'll see if there are some adjustments here.
It looks like we are going to Towers of Doom.
Yes. It's my favorite. I talked about this actually in the podcast this week. Towers of Doom is one of the reasons that I just love HOTS. It's great map design. It's just a great concept. It's my favorite map to cast. It's got so much going on. It's the kind of map where you're never out of it. Massive comebacks are always there, and it has just a ton of potential. And who picked map? This was ReGen's pick?
ReGen's pick, yes.
Right on. So
I'm excited about this map too. Again, because there's so many comeback mechanics. There's a lot of decision making. Who do you send to this tower? Who do you send to this one? Like, I really enjoyed this map because there's so much decision making involved in it, and you're never out of the game.
That's the best part. At the end of Towers of Doom, because of the way that the core shots work, where you have no access to directly damage core, all of these small little micro decisions, we can talk about them, we can criticize them, but sometimes at the end, if you get the perfect situation, you wind up seeing, it's everybody jockeying over one altar, or everybody making a boss play.
Yep.
So again, this is just love going to towers.
So last time ReGen Black had the respect ban on Medivh. Do you respect ban a Muradin or an Asmodean this time around, Jimmy? Because I feel like those are really impactful last
I think
game.
Muradin will see a high priority here. I don't know if we're gonna get a respect ban on the Asmo, but I do think Medivh, this is another great Medivh map, I would absolutely, spend one of those early bans on him.
Yeah. Again, I like how this was first pick on the side of Jimmy, because I think that's almost more confidence. A lot of people like map pick because they're comfortable with the map, they know the strategy. But when you choose first pick, you're saying, throw me whatever you got. I got an answer for it.
I'm trying to think of any other adjustments in draft. I mean, it seems like everybody got what they wanted, and it was, you know, again, meta versus, well, this is Azmodan. What is this going to wind up doing? And it worked. You know, and so in game one, you know, the meta draft was tilted in the favor of this is Jimmy. Let's see, we got Dave. Let's make sure we get everybody on the right sides here for our draft. A lot of these heroes still apply. Again, is Muradin maybe a ban, or is Muradin maybe the first pick here? Do we want to take that away? Game 3.
Yeah, and you only have so much time to deal with it, or to answer those questions, right? They've reduced the timers for the third ban.
I mean, you do have to snap these picks in really, really fast. You know,
yes.
That's a little bit of excitement here. We haven't seen anybody maybe make a misclick or anything screwy go on, but it does force a much faster level of decision making.
We actually had a misclick earlier in one of the other games.
Oh, no.
It was who was it? It was Run Boys? Yeah. They accidentally drafted Triple Warrior, Dahaka ETC Leoric, because someone forgot to pick, and then it just
autoed? Oh, no. Oh, you hate to see it. Wait a minute. Was that the game that they got knocked out, or was that a first-round game?
No, that was the first round game.
All right, so they were all right.
They won despite that, yeah.
Oh, man. Towers of Doom is our map number 3. Shoutouts, murder thrown over the host. Who actually, has anybody taken a peek? Who is the team that advanced to the finals on the other side of the bracket? I haven't taken a peek yet.
Ooh, I just peeked.
Oh. What do we got?
Should I tell you? Oh, it's OSD. They 2-0'd Blasting Bros.
All right. So
I was hoping for something. I mean, Blasting Bros, they made it all the way to the semi. Yep. Time was on the roster, and you know, perhaps blowing up a lot of people's brackets, but OSD in the finals here, up against either ReGen Black or This Is Jimmy, that'll be a good matchup too. Regardless of who wins this, I like that matchup.
OSD, a longtime NGS participant that are focusing on HGCO. A couple of role swaps in there for OSD. So they've been, you know, mixing things up a little bit. We've seen them bring some new players in as well. A strong tournament for them. They're a crowd favorite. Listen, anybody who's been connected with NGS for a while knows OSD, knows Manager Vikel. Manager Vikel, best manager. We've all got our corgi shoutouts as well. So good to see OSD in the final. But again, you're absolutely right. A great run from Blasting Bros. I think they were either the 8th or the 9th seed in this tournament.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people expected them to get this far. And also some other things in the brackets. Luxorian Sun losing out early on to Adults with Jobs. I was expecting a quarterfinals between OSD and Luxorian Sun, so that never happened. So OSD beating Adults with Jobs and then Blasting Bros. Maybe OSD is... I mean, I haven't watched the matches, but maybe they're a little soft because they really haven't played the teams they were expecting to play, right?
Well, they've run the gauntlet thus far. They have yet to drop a map. That obviously will not be the case for either of these teams as we move on to Game 3. Chat, we've just got a little bit of delay here as ReGen Black just trying to get everybody here into lobby and keep everything clean, so we'll just try to keep things rolling up until that point. Shout out to chat as we see everybody starting to trickle in here. What do we got for review count? What's happening with this? 86 people. Thumbs up. You love to see it.
Hey, don't forget that follow button. Don't forget to, you know, hit the bits. I gave him 2 bits already. Can anyone beat me with those 2 bits?
One Megabit fan is up there with 10 bits. Hot damn. I earned myself a pretty penny. Bits are so silly. Much appreciated. But actually, you know, listen, if you are a fan of this tournament, of the teams involved, of the casters, go ahead and throw everybody a follow because NGS season number 5 starts up in about a week. Gravesville and I certainly will be looking to book games across all divisions. We're excited. NGS this season, yet again, going through another major increase. We went from 110 teams to, it's either once, I think it's 178. Apparently no signs of slowing down. So a little bit of headache on the admin side, but, you know, never going to stop anybody from joining up. It's crazy. I mean, this was, I joined in season 3, and that was 55 teams.
Yeah, just tripling. That's crazy. And you know, who knows where it goes from here? Maybe next year we'll have over 200. I mean, the sky's the limit. Headaches for the admins.
We'll deal with it.
But yeah, no, we'll deal with it.
All right, so we do have the R here from both of our teams. Ready? Map number 3, Towers of Doom. Let's just make sure we get everything set up nice and right proper. All right, let's head to our draft.
Let's do it.
Game number 3, Towers of Doom. We're here in the semifinals. Winner heads on to the finals. Winner is going to meet OSD. Oh boy. It's been a long day. Hoping to end on a high note here.
Absolutely. I mean, based on that last game, I want to see that last game again. It was much closer, a lot of back and forth. This is Jimmy. They showed a lot of signs of life at the end of the game. Like, I want the same thing on this map right here.
And this is Jimmy. We'll have the first ban. Chat wants to know if we're going to get the Asmo Respect ban. We get Genji. This is Jimmy. Tried it. They don't want any part of it. Nobody.
We are on a delay, but I like that the members of OSD are in chat now.
No.
Calling me out.
Are they really? Oh, God. No Mediv for you? Are we going to get that Asmo ban? I kind of doubt it.
I mean, if your rel makes it through, that's another aspect that we didn't talk about. I haven't seen her go through. I did see one match, and it was very impactful. I mean, but then again, Dahaka exists, who's really good on this map. Chroma getting banned, okay. So a lot of options for bans on the side of ReGen Black.
Okay, maybe angling for the first pick your rel. This is just an incredible map for her once you pick up Divine Steed at level 7, because it's a map that isn't too wide, top to bottom. It's very easy for her to wind up getting around, even with, you know, a slight reduction on the insane movement speed that you do get when you mount up. And Gofty and ReGen Black taking this one down to the wire. Maiev ban.
Wow.
Maybe a little bit of scouting there.
Yeah, maybe they know something that we don't. Asmodan, a snap pick on the side of this is Jimmy.
Stolen. Can you? Okay, it's again 2018, and Asmodan is the highest contested hero right now in the semifinal. What in the name of happening? Asmodan first pick. Asmodan was actually one of the first heroes that I picked up in this game. Never thought we'd ever get to this point.
They didn't even go for their rail. They chose Dahaka. I do think Dahaka is good here because he has the global, but just giving it over to This Is Jimmy, I don't know.
I mean, maybe they want the global, and there's the URL pickup. And there's the Deckard Cain. The one thing about Dahaka on this map is he's going to provide, again, we're always going to talk about backline pressure with your offlaner. How are they going to get back there? How do you put pressure on an Asmodan who just wants to stand a country mile away and is going to have URL and Deckard Cain in front of him? Maybe Dahaka is the answer. We did see some aggressive rotations, especially in the early game, from ReGen Black, and Dahaka would lend himself to that. Johanna ban, I smell a Muradin.
Gall ban. I mean, we'll just complete the bans, right?
Counter yourself in chat wants to know, does the winner of the team, the tournament get anything in chat? Following it up, yes, $20 BNet cards for everybody, so all 5 members will go ahead and pick themselves up a nice little bonus. And listen, a shout out to everybody who's been a ReGen fan. Those cards were funded. All the prize packages here were funded by bit donations on Murder Stream throughout the season. Respect ban, no Muradin. So Garrosh and Diablo come to mind. Is there maybe a Wild Stitches in here? Where's this? Where's the tank meta going?
I mean, they need to have some kind of peel for Jimmy. Like, he can't just sit unprotected in the backline unless they're gonna go for a different engaged tank.
There he is.
They will go for the Stitches, and they're gonna pair that up with the Phoenix. I like the Stitches pickup.
You know, you've got a wide body in Asmodan. You have the fairly immobile Deckard Cain, so you've got targets. So Malfurion is also on the board, and obviously since This Is Jimmy has picked up their support, you would suspect the hook root combo.
Yes.
I see Bahamut.
I mean, it could be the hook root.
Bahamut's in chat. Baha, does anything make you quite as happy as this level of priority on the Asmodan? Does it, like, when you go to sleep at night, are there tears of joy? I mean, come on, dude. Like, the wizard himself, with his favorite hero being first pick in these maps, is just crazy.
Well, it is that last pick, Malfurion. We kind of expected the hook in the root. It could have been like a Stukov, you know, a silence instead, but that's more tried and true, I'd say.
Greymane provides. This is Jimmy with some just sort of snap, can't clear. And also, one thing to always keep an eye out on when you're playing on Towers of Doom, and both teams do have this with their picks. If you lose a tower, you have to be able to pick it back up quickly. You know, that's the downfall. Like, a lot of times teams will pick aggressive comps. You may see, like, you know, tracer comps or comps that are heavy on melee, you know, with Maiev in particular. And if you surrender a tower on this map, it just takes an hour and a half to go ahead and cap the darn thing back. But both of these teams do have really good siege. We see really good wave clear on both sides. So maybe, you know, the first game had a lot of team fighting. There was a lot of kills pre-10. The second game was very quiet. And I sort of expect this to mirror game number 2. I do expect this game to take a little while to ramp up, as these teams maybe are looking to work the macro before they start the team fight.
Well, Stitches exist, so we'll find out.
Stitches always has something to say about it. Speaking of that big old bag of fleas, Stitches will be played by Ghosty. Penguin for the win on Phoenix. Love Not War on that Rainer. Buns is going to be playing Dahaka, and Gaspy on the Malfurion.
And on the right-hand side, this is Jimmy. Dan Clan playing Deckard Kane. Dementia on the Greymane. Tiny Rick on Asmodee. Mitch D. Mitchell Ding Dong on the Diablo. And Jay Shifts on the Urel.
Mitch Dreams. We're going to bring this one home. He struggled in the previous game. You know, in terms of getting engages and finding that lockdown. Diablo a whole different beast. But we're going to have eyes on Ghosty.
Yeah, we do have Slam build coming out, so a little even more wave clear on the side of ReGen Black. We're going to have to see if Asmodee can get stacked early again, going for that Wrath. The auto attack build, Tiny Rick, I mean, you know, like you said, it's funny to say, Asmodee auto attack build 2018.
Jay Shifts is looking to get the Righteous Hammer there. Ghosty looks like he will go down first. Warp out by Penguin for the win. First blood is claimed, and Stitches and slammed around by Mitchy D's there. Tough. Didn't really have a hook target early. Was going for the wave clear. Penguin FTW is in trouble here. Watch out for the dunk. There it is. And no more follow-up can be had. Arsenal synergy on this Phoenix, by the way, so even more wave clear. I mean, why bother having minions with this amount? Just wipe them away.
That's right. So Urel up against Dahaka in the top lane here. Oh, he's got to spotlight the solo laners, those poor guys. Mitchy D's going in aggressively, looking for Jimmy. He's getting body blocked here. Love Not War. The friendly hook there from Ghosty. Make sure he can get away.
Jimmy escapes. Dementia actually using Worgen form there to escape the camp invade. Remember, this is Dahaka, so we do expect the move to be made by Buns into this bottom lane. Dementia on the Greymane, a little low. Gaspy now is the target on the Malfurion. He actually winds up eating the combo there. He's got 80. Oh. Getting healed up. Oh, no.
And the hook on the Dan Clan.
Oh,
no way.
Ghosty, you mad genius. Dan Clan will actually wind up getting away. I mean, Deckard Kane, listen, is objectively hard to kill. He winds up skirting away using his own pots. Boy, I thought Gaspy was a goner. And he winds up sneaking away.
Yeah, he survives. I thought the little pumpkin men were going to get it for sure. I'm like, all right, they're just going to auto him. He's going to walk into it because he's in the bush. No, Gaspy gets away. And in fact, they're going to get their own camp here. Bot lane pressure is usually the name of the game on this map because of these two Sapper camps. So I like this early pressure on the side of ReGen Black.
The early camp invade does cost them a little bit of XP, as this is Jimmy, the first team to level 4. Keep an eye on Ghosty here. Looks like he's positioning for the hook, as the Pumpkin Sappers are starting to move down bot lane. A little bit of a 3v4 here. Jimmy is up in mid. Dahaka by his own up top. Ghosty is going to get rooted here. Not sure he's going to find a way out of this one. Tiny Rick doesn't even need the dunk to wind up securing that kill, as Mitchy D's finds himself a Stitches.
Yeah, we talked about fat bodies. Stitches himself has one, and what happens? They just slam him into the wall and body block him, and he has 0 escapes, and no one can help him there unless they kill whoever's body blocking him.
The adjustment's going to will have to be made by Ghosty, as you know he's had some aggressive positioning there, and the suplex into devastating charge combo has just been too much for Stitches to get out. Again, it's early in the game. We'll see what the choice is at level 10. Buns is there on that Dahaka. Burrowed in, is on the back line, just sharking around trying to find something. The hook comes through, and actually, it pulled him out of the root. The anti-synergy is there. Buns on the backside, though, is looking to find Tiny Rick. Dahaka has been a menace so far. Dunk goes out. Looks like this is Jimmy. Might not have another delay here, though.
Yeah, looks like this will go over to ReGen Black, so they'll get 4 more shots over onto their side. Urel already heading to the top. Tiny Rick has to Hearth. No dunks available for Azmodan. He's got to get that mana back. And they do have about almost a half-level lead on the side of this Jimmy. So Dahaka exists, though, and that's a thing that this is Jimmy has to keep in mind. Yes, they have a lead now, but longer things stall out, Buns can continue to soak. But then on the same side, dunks are happening. There's a lot of stall from both sides.
You know, one thing to keep a note of is that Dahaka has not been pressured in terms of HP. The target has really been more on Stitches. And Dahaka is really not, it doesn't seem to be troubled by whatever Tiny Rick can do on that Dahaka. Or excuse me, on that Azmodan. Pause break coming in here. We'll take a quick minute, throw it back over to the webcams. We'll see what's going on. Give these teams a little time, maybe a strategic timeout. Ghosty and crew calling for the break.
But yeah, I think adjustments need to be made for Ghosty because if they don't get the engage with the hook, it's going to be so much easier for Diablo to just walk up to your face and body block you. And again, you don't really have any response to that. Stitches is a big body. You can't get out. You have to basically turn around and kill the Diablo. So maybe Ghosty, they're looking for picks off the hook instead of walking forwards. You know, maybe Diablo has to, or maybe, excuse me, maybe Stitches has to play back and just slam and walk away and hope for hooks.
It's not going to get any easier as we start to move towards level 10. Right now, there's about a quarter of a level lead. Both teams are on level 6, so this is Jimmy will hit 7 first. But with Greymane and I guess we expect Cursed Bullet here just to maybe continue to go after the Stitches. That's a big target. I'm not sure how he's going to be able to survive through that. Speculating, Bile or Gorge? I feel like it's Gorge.
I feel like Gorge is the choice, but the thing with that is there's a lot of HP on the side of this Jimmy. You know, Asmo, Diablo, Urel. So if you pick off one of the frontliners, you have to kill them. And do they have the damage to do so between Jimmy and Phoenix? It is a lot, but with Bile at least you can, walk through the team and always do damage. Bile is a significant amount of damage. I don't think people realize how much damage Bile actually does.
And the other thing that Bile will do, again, we don't know where Ghosty is going to go here, but so when a guy picks Playmaker every single time, you kind of expect like a single target isolation. Gorge, which is again, it's a different monster, but it is kind of similar to Playmaker and what you're looking to do as a frontline tank. But Bile would provide the setup for Purification Salvo. And
yes,
every time we have seen Phoenix throughout this tournament, it's been set up by one of the two sort of meta plays, either Earthquake on Thrall or Lightning Breath on Diablo. And those have been the big pairings. So Bile would provide that setup for Salvo because I don't really think it does a lot of damage if you don't have the extra slow being provided. So
what you're saying is roots into Planet Cracker.
Calculated. I would
calculate.
Dude, Planet Crackers, it's fun to see. It's a great big blue beam of death. So
yes.
We got a little bit of a timeout here, and it looks like teams are ready, so we will head back there soon. Listen, it could be anything. It really could be. We have no idea what to expect. We've already got Playmaker. So, game is incoming. Teams are ready. Sevens are picked up, and this is Jimmy will go ahead and work on bottom camp. Important to note that they are finally seeing the XP gap close as Buns on that Dahaka has been just up top on his own. And ReGen Black has made the adjustment in that they've just really been running a 1-1-3. However, we're looking for the invade here. Ghosty on the front line is trying to find a way out. Mitchie D's is just not letting this Stitches go anywhere. There's the Dahaka Burrow. Ghosty trying to find his way out. He's got Malfurion heals helping him out. J-Shifts on the back line is low on the Urel. Buns actually gets flipped, and there's the hook. Dementia is not long for this world. And the tongue follow-up by Buns. Is Diablo next? There's the follow-up. Jimmy trying to track him down. You're going to get a little bit of pepper on Big Red. One more hit. He's gone. J-Shifts didn't get full range on that Avenging Wrath, and he is gone as well. It's a triple for ReGen Black. Much like game number 2, when they find 1 kill, they have been proficient at just finding 2 and 3. They've now got a half-level lead, 4 kills to 2. And they're going to go ahead and pick up their own camp. Wow.
Yeah, I have to say again, props to Gaspy and Malfurion. Keeping Goofy alive in that situation was pretty key because Stitches didn't die and could just walk away and poop all over everyone. I felt that that was the most impactful thing. In fact, getting the hook on a tiny rink. He does have this self-dunk, but will he get away? Roots are there. Asmo goes down. Phoenix doesn't get away, so that's a 1-for-1 trade. And Goofy looks like they're going to back away. Buns is on the backside, doesn't hit the tongue. J-Shift's jumping in. I think they just need to walk away from this one.
The hook comes out, does not connect. Right now, in terms of core damage, this is Jimmy is behind. They're down 8 shots. They're down almost a full level of XP. And we're highlighting him there on our observer can. Shout out to Buns. I do think the Dahaka play has been tremendous in this game.
Yes.
Goofy maybe looking for a hook there on bottom. Instead finds himself on the wrong side of a suplex combo. There's the dunk follow-up, and ReGen Black will back out. Yeah, the Dahaka play, there is no peel, mostly because the target has been Goofy on the front line. So we see Midgey D's as well as Dementia on that Gray main looking to follow up and provide a ton of damage on Stitches, and they just have nothing. Oh. Penguin does have warp, gets out there. But we're talking about just not enough peel for Dahaka.
Oh, they get the hook on the tiny Rick. I don't think they have a root quite yet. Slam up against the wall. Gaspy is there. They're going to try to get the Malfurion. Looks like they will do so. Nice counter engage there from this is Jimmy.
There's Buns again. He's trying to track down this Diablo. Has the tongue, does connect there. The root will come out. Scroll of Sealing will freeze the members of ReGen Black, and Mitchy D's has an opportunity to get out. And Dahaka says no.
And Mitchy Dongles didn't last that long. Level 10s is here now for ReGen Black. Twilight Dream coming out. I'm waiting to see what the rest... Oh, it is the...
Okay. Again, listen, if you like Game Maker and you like just finding one target and making their life a living hell, Gorge is the pick. This objective phase, we'll see both teams battling over top. Goofy is probably gone. He went for the aggressive play there. Lightning Breath comes out. And 10 is picked up. Ardent Defender, Lightning Breath, and the old Tide of Sin. No pick yet for either Deckard Cain. We do see go for the throat. Interesting. I thought it would have been...
Phoenix is still sitting on his 2. I'm still interested about that one. But yeah, go for the... I would have expected...
Either way, though, you know, the one thing that Go for the Throat will provide is the pressure onto Phoenix, and that has seemingly been the target here as this game has gone on. The adjustment has been made on the side of this Jimmy, and I feel like they're looking for the Phoenix more than the Stitches. They will jockey over bottom altar. I'm not sure they can get the whole altar. In fact, they're going to be trouble. They're going to get in trouble here. Buns is coming in on the flank. Oh, they're going to filter right through the spot where... Oh, no. Stitches just had... I mean, he had the perfect window. Deckard Cain found himself in an alleyway. Stitches was hungry. Finds the hook.
Yeah.
Cain gone.
And I'd say another good play from Buns. Just even getting the vision onto DanClan on Malfurion enough to there. So I like the play from Dahaka.
And right now, ReGen Black have picked up their own Pumpkin Sapper camp. They're actually behind on the bot lane pressure, but they are slightly ahead in XP.
You need a Twitch chat mod, FYI.
Do I now? Yes. We need to go ahead and ban this dude right out. In fact, I think Nightbot just took care of that. Yep. Timed out.
All right. So 32 shots to 24 shots. Altar spawning down here in the bottom. No level 13 for either of the teams. Dahaka's continuing to soak. And Jim Raynor scouting out. Ooh, hook not hitting, unfortunately. But positional advantage so far on the side of ReGen Black.
Thank you, P. Arcane, for helping the block there. Thank you guys for helping me catch that. All right, level 12s. Against 12 here. Deckard Cain, I don't think there's going to be an interrupt there. The hook came out, actually hits Urel on the backside. Penguin is in big trouble. Actually gets the warp out. The Twilight Dream comes through. Penguin is done in by the Lightning Breath. Deckard Cain with a stay a while. And listen, J-Shift with a big Righteous Hammer hits 4 members trying to find some follow-up kills. Pressure is there. Gaspy and Love Not War are trying to find their way out. Dahaka should have enough essence to live through this. The root comes out, connects on 2, but it is just the front line. There's the Ardent Defender from Urel. There's the dunk. Goofy just makes it out. And this game's starting to even out a little bit.
Interesting thing happened there. Gorging the Urel. She just turns around and it's like, well, I'll just smack you into my team.
All right, I apologize there. We just missed it a little bit. Thank you, again, for Twitch Chat for helping me out there. It looked like ReGen Black was trying to figure out how to get the delay. They kept sliding up, and they found themselves just in a spot where they could not make a play.
Fleabag is the pickup, by the way, on Stitches at level 13. Cooldown reduction whenever he's stunned or rooted. Going to help, especially with that Diablo up against him and the Deckard.
Hook.
Oh, Hook going out, and the Gorge, but it's on Diablo. I mean, he can get away from this, right?
In fact...
Oh, they didn't place the root in the right spot.
I think Ghosty might have... he might have been just giving up the Diablo. Alright, so we do see Lightning Breath come through. A little bit of chaos here as we get into level 12/13. The Hook only finds a Demonic Warrior. This is the last of the triple altar phases. And both teams right now sitting in the high 20s. There's really no advantage to be made yet. Jay shifts. Was looking for the Avenging Wrath, but Bun stops that nonsense. Oh. Another Demonic Warrior gets in the way. Tiny Rick doing work on Ghosty specifically, just throwing minions out there and getting the blocks on.
So Wrath has been completed. He's at 245 stacks of Annihilation. Dan Clan has the channel. Jimmy doesn't get the interrupt in time. In fact, Penguin.
Big.
Oh, and the 4-man stay while and listen. Looks like they will be able to get away from the
the dunk. Not so. Tiny Rick finds another target. Mitchie Deez is on the backside trying to find Malfurion. The Twilight Dream doesn't come through in time. Ghosty is just trying to find a kill out of anywhere. Gorgeous Asmodan, but that's not going to do it. So Stitches just trying to get away. Bun's the only remaining member with any sort of life left, and bottom bell tower is claimed by This Is Jimmy. They've turned this game by changing the priority target. They have gone hard after Phoenix, and it has worked out for them here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what changed here? I feel like ReGen Black was doing so much better, and then once they realized, hey, what if we just focus the Phoenix, and then they don't have the damage that they need to kill us. That's really been the turning point here. So bottom pressure is going to be a thing that ReGen Black has to deal with. Sappers are core points. They want to take control of this, obviously. 16 is now picked up for This Is Jimmy. Next objective will be in the bottom and the middle lane here, but they need to take this tower back.
I mean, the saving grace here is for ReGen Black is they had a very good early game. You know, even if they do have to take a little bit of time, maybe forfeit an altar or two, they have enough shots where they can come back. They need to be worried about XP here. That damage is starting to stack up on Asmodan. And another Demonic Warrior gets hooked. It's got to be the 4th Demonic Warrior in a row that's gotten hooked. That pesky little minion is just stopping Stitches from getting anything done.
Yeah, Tiny Rick's like, yeah, he's good at dunks, but what about blocking skin shots?
All right, ReGen Black perhaps trying to maybe find a way to get just a saving play here. Yrel actually winds up getting hooked and gorged, but that's a Yrel.
Yep.
And now Ghosty is in trouble here. There's the dunk into the wall bang. Go for the throw actually used on Stitches. Nothing else coming to it.
Who came out?
All right. Ardent Defender and Lightning Breath, and that's the end of that engagement. Stay a while comes through, only hits the front line, so This Is Jimmy will wind up burning cooldowns just to make sure that they can go ahead and pick up 2 altar channels. And because ReGen Black was not able to convert bottom bell tower back, that's 10 shots, 20 to 10 right now. They're about to pick up 16, and Gravesville, they need to find a play. They need to find some recipe for success here as they're finally on even talent tiers, or this game's going to slip away for them.
Yeah, they need to do it on the back of Stitches, unfortunately. They need to land a hook. They need to get kills because, like you said, 10 shots left. Boss is another 4 shots. We haven't even talked about that. That's another way to get shots in here. But they do have 16, and yeah, they need to get kills.
Oh, that dunk. I mean, that's 40% of Rainer's health. Oh,
there's a hook.
Okay, that should be a dead Diablo. Ghosty one.
The dunk is doing so much damage.
Does Malfurion go down?
They're gonna dive on him. Dementia is
if
low.
He gets out, he's a god. Purification salvo. Wow.
No
what a play by Dementia. Actually goes into the moat to convert the kill on Malfurion. Gaspy, I think they were just trying to body block the Diablo, and they forgot that Dementia gives 0 care to the moat shots. 2 for 1. Diablo comes back with the loss of his souls. And This Is Jimmy. Again, they've held onto this bottom altar so hard.
All right, they're going to go for the dive onto Ghosty.
Stay a while.
Stay a while and listen. Unfortunately, not anyone. The hook going out on a Dan Clan. Do they have the damage there? Dimension diving in and the lightning breath coming up from Diablo to back away, but the altars are here. They can't give these up. 5 shots, even that itself is just too much to handle, because then boss is a win condition.
I love this play by This Is Jimmy. They're going to go ahead and pick up the bottom camp. So they're in a position where Pumpkin Sappers, a free channel, and boss is game. They get the channel. They've got Pumpkin Sappers pushing bottom. I think they're going for boss here. Jay Shifts is up there. Dan Clan. HEDs. ReGen Black wants to defend boss. There's only 2 shots left. They have no choice. Dahaka is in bottom lane. So Dahaka has to go ahead and clear these Pumpkin Sappers, and then he'll have the ability to burrow up. Boss is at half health. There's a number of cooldowns that are missing. Mitchy D's goes in hard. Penguin is gone. The root comes out. Scroll of Ceiling does not hit, but there is huge problems. Ghosty is going down. The silence comes through on Urel, but it's not going to be enough. She has Art of Defender once that's up. It is used. This is Jimmy. Winds up converting boss. That will be game. This is Jimmy, and this is our other finalist for the ReGen Invitational number 2.
GG, well played.
Absolutely. Wait, this is Jimmy. But they seemed like they were in trouble in the early game, and the adjustments that they made, and just the stacking on Asmodan was huge. And again, the MVPs in that game, you know, we talked about Buns in the early part of that game. The MVPs throughout the post-10 plays were the Demonic Warriors.
Yes. Right?
Like, I know they ate at least 4 to 5 different hook attempts. And when the Gorge came through, the commitment by Dimension on that Greyming was fantastic, because anytime a Gorge target actually went into the moat and ReGen Black was looking to pick up a kill, he committed to those plays, wound up picking up an extra kill or 2, and the shield pots from Danklin's Deckard were enough to get Greymane back out of there. Great tournament from ReGen Black. You know, they won. Yeah. They picked up a couple of upsets. They're, you know, the first team to go ahead and pick up a map off of This Is Jimmy as well. They were absolutely fantastic in that game. All right, let's see if we can go ahead. Gary, so can we queue up an interview maybe while we right before we move?
And looks like Mitchy Ding Dong is going to be joining us here, so we're just waiting for him. Dimension's like, yo, he's coming now, so we got to wait for him. I said I'd pull him over to us. You know, he might have something to say between you and I. All right, we're going to pull him over right about now.
All right, we are joined by the tank for This Is Jimmy and the finalist, Mitchy D's. What's happening, brother?
Hey, pretty good. How you doing? Thanks for casting. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. It's been our pleasure, and this is our first time getting a look at This Is Jimmy. So for everybody out there who might not be familiar with you guys, talk to us about your team. Where'd you guys come from? What's the scoop?
Well, Dan is from a little old place called Kansas City.
All right.
But we've been playing together for a little while now. Dan is constantly faded. And but that's a little bit about our team. No, but we just enjoy playing together. We hate getting dunked on. The Asmo game hurt pretty good, but yeah, just a lot of fun playing together. That's basically it.
Yeah, you guys have been here all day, and you guys are competing at HCC Open. Where do you guys feel like the meta is right now? Because it seems like there are a number of rare and wild picks that are moving up in priority here. You know, again, throughout each GCO and then again in the ReGen Invite.
Yeah. I mean, Joe is obviously one of the top ones. Rainer with the rework, obviously really, really good. Asmo can just dish out the damage. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting looking at the healers right now. I think Alex Straza will probably like bump up more and more, but Kane continues to be good even with a little bit of nerf. And I think Malf is just going to get punished more and more so because the ice block is now gone. I'm also looking forward to playing see more Rhaegar played, but we haven't played it yet. So, but Kane, Malf, pretty standard right now. So yeah,
absolutely. Graves?
Yeah, actually, I just want to talk about that last game on Towers of Doom here. Early on, you guys were struggling perhaps a little bit more as your opponents were getting some kills. What adjustments did you make in that game to come back? Because I feel like once you switch your pressure from Stitches over to Phoenix, things seem to go a little bit better for you.
Yeah, in the Dahaka burrow, we should have seen it. We wanted to get an interrupt top for the burrow. We didn't get that, and obviously that first one puts us in a tough spot. But that was a good play by them. But we actually tried to position our Urel in mid lane, so he could rotate, or she could rotate down a lot faster when the dig comes in. And so they're really aggro. We love it. Love playing against people that are that play like that. But yeah, and obviously we were able to, once we hit that 10, the power spike is just huge. So yeah.
All right. So in the finals, you guys are going to be going up against the Order of the Sleeping Dragon, two HGCO teams, two teams. I'm not sure. Have you guys met yet in any of the cups?
No, we haven't. We haven't met them yet.
Right on. So, listen, talk to us about finals. What are you guys looking forward to? Maybe without too many teasers. What should we be seeing here from This Is Jimmy in the finals?
Well, honestly, I don't know. We're just gonna try to wall bang and have fun. That's basically it.
Right on. All right. Well, we are gonna let you go. Mitchie Dees, thank you for joining us here.
Hey, appreciate it. Yeah.
Good luck in the finals, brother.
Good work, love it.
Right on. All right, so let's go ahead. We're just going to do one or two little changes here. So for the finals, fam, everything is over. The finals are going to be played over on the stream with Murda and Ragnarok. The two buddies there are going to go ahead and give us the finals. So we'll go ahead and throw the host. I'm not sure if his stream is up yet, but for me and Graves, this has been a ton of fun. Graves, a lot of highlights this weekend, a lot of weird picks. And learned a lot about a couple of teams that I just had not seen yet.
Yeah, this whole tournament's been really excited. Like you said, some surprises, a lot of back and forth. That last matchup itself, some people didn't even expect this to go to 3 games. I really liked what ReGen Black was showing. This is Jimmy, obviously doing a really good job. OSD, you've seen them before. I'm excited for the finals, and this is going to be a really good end to the tournament, I feel.
Absolutely. And a shout-out to all the teams that we've been able to see today, and the number of upsets. And, of course, in closing, we want to thank NGS for helping bring us all of this, and the hard work by Murda and the ReGen family. He's got Aura and Red have been providing the mod tools. I mean, we've got so many cool things going on. Like, I haven't actually been a part of a tournament with, like, a challenge bracket, right? We have every single game covered. We've been lucky enough, we've been blessed. Philindra's hopping in here helping us out with the eye and the sky as well. Always good to have Foul out of there. So, I don't know, predictions for the finals?
It's gonna be tough, quite honestly. I've been really impressed by This Is Jimmy. I've seen OSD. I know what they can do. Jimmy is more of the unknown for me. I'm really impressed by them, and I would like to see it go to 5 games regardless, because I love watching HOTS. But I'm gonna give it to This Is Jimmy.
Ooh. How many games?
It's gonna be in 5. It's going to be in 5. It's gonna be a close one.
Well, listen, we're both gonna be tuning in there. So once again, chat. Thank you guys. Hop over to twitch.tv/MurdaRG for the final. Let's see. That one's got to get going soon because we're already just a little bit past start. So I'm sure Murda and Rag are going to go ahead and get started. We'll throw the host over there as soon as we can. If not, just go ahead and migrate over. All right. I have been your host, Professor Bobo. And hey, Graves, thank you for joining me tonight, man. It was a pleasure. This is actually the first time I think we've been on the same cast. Love to see it.
Yeah, it has been. It's been a lot of fun. So thanks again for having me. And thanks for everyone in chat for showing up.
Right on. All right, guys, we're all done for the evening. Shout out. We'll catch you guys soon for NGS Season 5. Keep an eye on in this stream. As the headcaster for NGS, you know that I'm going to be picking up games and hopefully pointing you guys in the right directions of some of the new streamers that we'll have. But good luck to the finals. This is Jimmy and OSD coming up next.